Hi friends, today we are going to discuss the February-March situation broadly for finances, for stock markets, for India in general, the political situation. So the stock market, we will see that there is rise in on certain days. Like we will see stock market, share market rising in India from 8, 9, 10, 11 February, these few days, and also 25th to 28th February, we will see a rise in the share market, the upward trend. And banking sector, 26th to 28th February, something good, something rising, we will see during that period. Now, prices of silver initially during February, they might reduce a little bit, but then they are likely to go on increasing very quickly. Prices of gold, silver, and commodities, everything, it's going to rise very quickly towards end of February. As we move, we will see the rise in these prices. Definitely we are going to see that in the upcoming days, February, March. Now there is something called as Panchagrahi Yoga, which means 4 planets, 5 planets coming together. First it is in Capricorn, the Makar sign, and then it will be in the 10th house, which is the, sorry, I'm saying Aquarius. It will be in Aquarius, Kumbha Rashi, 5 planets together. So this is going to create some very intense situations. So in this country, India, we might see a lot of violent kind of situations. We might see a lot of debates and heated arguments in the parliament. Among people also, there can be some forms of communal violence. That kind of news we are going to see in the days to come. Things get heated up a little bit when so many planets come together. That's why when I explain the charts of great personalities, I focus a lot on these big yogas, 5 planets coming together, 4 planets coming together, which is called as the stellium in Western astrology. Then of course the opposition will try to pull down the government. So it's a test, this year is a Agni Pariksha. It's a test of fire for the central government led by Mr. Modi. And we are likely to see February, March, there's likelihood of some major politician or political leader could die, or there could be some harm. This kind of thing we might see one of the leaders. That's the indication, because 10th house of India, we are seeing this Panchagrahi Yoga, these 5 planets coming together, and it becomes quite a volatile situation. Rahu is already in Aquarius, and then all these planets coming together, it creates a very tough combination. After March 13th, we are also seeing the Kala Sarpa Yoga forming, where all the planets come between Rahu and Ketu. Then that again leads to some kind of volatile situation. So February, March overall, I think be a little bit careful, be a little bit mindful, avoid getting into too much of conflict situations. Of course, none of you will actually go on the streets and fight. I don't think so, but still be careful, I would say, because the energy is volatile during this period. And one of the important things we are seeing in the coming days is India's foreign policy. Before foreign policy, also there are chances of fire-related incidents, explosions, these kind of things happening in India, February, March. Okay, so we have to be a little bit careful, mindful during this period. Also pray a lot to Lord Shiva or whichever God, Jesus or whoever is your God. You pray to them and bring a vibration of meditation, prayer into your life, which will impact everything. Because there has been an experiment done by Maharshi Mahesh Yogi in the US, and when people meditate, when people are peaceful, you see that it impacts their situations. It impacts the city. It impacts crime rates in cities decreased when people were meditating in groups in particular cities. Crime rates were decreasing. So we say that, oh, meditation, prayer, India is into spirituality, but there's so much of, chaos. But yeah, despite the chaos, we see that, situations could have been a lot worse. But because of these practices, the vibration of peace, the vibration of calm is created, and that helps a lot. So it's not a helpless situation. Gather together, pray, meditate, do singing, spiritual singing, whatever you can do, do it together, and that will help the whole world, definitely. And now Mahashivratri is coming. It's a great auspicious occasion. We can pray for our country, we can pray for the well-being of everyone, because once the collective situation is good, we can also focus on our individual growth, mental, physical, spiritual, financial, right? So that is the advice for this situation. And as I was mentioning, India's foreign policy is going to be an important focus. So foreign policy means India is already signing these trade agreements and all that. And somewhere we feel that it's a policy which is a little bit flawed in some way, right? Maybe there are problems with all our neighbors, so there's a lot of criticism coming. But I think in the days to come, this foreign policy seems to be shaping up in a good way towards the end of this year. And what is going to happen in the next 2-3 months is going to shape it in a good way, so that probably we will have some hope in the days to come. And India's foreign policy and the way India positions itself will be seen as very strategic, and will be seen as very powerful by the whole world. So this kind of thing is also being indicated, and I'm definitely taking the help of some references, especially the Divakar Jantri, which is one of the beautiful almanacs published in India. Okay, and change of India's foreign policy will stir the world. That's what I've written. Yeah, and this is the year of Rudra. As per the Samvatsar, as per the Indian calculation, this year is the year of Rudra. So world will see this kind of, whole world will see these volatile situations. We're seeing it, Israel, Palestine, we're seeing Ukraine, Russia, we see, the situation with Venezuela. So everywhere we are seeing some kind of volatile situations, but more than physical war, I think it will be financial war, it will be ideological war, it will be political war. So that is the whole battle going on right now. So friends, I think these inputs are enough for you if you are making decisions related to stock markets. Remember that don't play with too much risk. That's what I already told you at the start of 2026. Don't take too much of risk. Think long term, think stable, think in terms of stability. And yeah, I think it's a good time. If you're trying to sell silver, gold, I would advise you not to do so right away just because the prices are rising, because they might rise even more. So all these things you can take into account, and I'm sure you are good at the financial aspect, and you will be able to imbibe these inputs and see how situations build up. Okay, cheers.